Hi guys, and welcome to my next renovation, one that I didn't want to do but I'll get into that later. We have £100,000 to turn this old 2-bedroom bungalow into a 3-bedroom with an ensuite and completely renovating the whole thing. Let's take a look around. So starting with the front, there are two things we're going to change immediately. One, this porch, this really funny shape, we're going to turn that into a rectangle, and then the big work is this garage. So we are going to be knocking this down and turning this into a 3rd bedroom. We've got 2 bedrooms here. This is going to be a 3rd bedroom with an ensuite, and it actually might lead to more room at the back for potentially a small 4th bedroom or a study. But I'll take you inside and show you around, and I'll get into why I really didn't want to do this project as well. Here's the porch. As you can see, it's a particularly funny shape. So we really wanted to modernise this in some way. Nothing too complicated. So we begin with a nice entrance hall looking through to the kitchen, and then this was the master bedroom. So there's these nice big wardrobes, but these will obviously have to come out as they create quite a bit of space. Really nice sized main bedroom. Coming across the hall is the smaller 2nd bedroom, still a double room. But these two are going to stay exactly the same. I'll get into why I didn't want to renovate this thing quickly before I show you the rest of it. This was basically my grand's house. So she passed away a year ago, and we put it on the market a couple of months after she passed away, and it's dropped £100,000 since then. We haven't even had one single offer, not even sort of a really ridiculous low offer. The neighbour's house sold for quite a good price a year or so ago, and it's literally plummeted since then. So we really didn't want to do this, even though my brother and I renovate properties for clients and for a living. We're just too emotionally tied to it. My grand's been here since I think 93 or 94 possibly, and it's all we've ever known is her living here. So even being here now is a bit difficult. But we've decided to renovate it because obviously £100,000 drop, and we think if we spend £100,000 on what I'm about to show you, it could be worth another sort of 50 or something on top of that once we're all in. So I'll continue to show you around, and I'll talk more about that as the weeks pass on and other memories of her here. So coming through to the right hand side is the living room. A really old fireplace that needs ripping out. It's a funny one because usually I'm not emotionally tied to these places, so this fireplace 100% has to be ripped out, but it just feels really strange doing so. Going to keep the chimney breast though. It's a nice feature to go around in the centre of the room. Very small garden, which is always good for my gran and for an older person if that's maybe who we're targeting. The neighbours you can see have extended, but I didn't want to do that because it only leaves 2 fence panels, which is about 1.8 metres I think. So 4 metres in the garden is not good if we want to target maybe a small family. You've got this cupboard here which we're keeping because it's got the mains gas, mains electric, which is super old. This was put in with the bathroom when the council did the bathroom, which I'll show you in a second, but super old electric, so everything's being rewired and replumbed, as you can imagine. Old ancient alarm panel that I used to constantly have to fix for her, and the bathroom. So the council put this in a few years ago. We thought it would be quite a good selling point actually for an older person to move in, because it's sort of ready to go for an older person with like a wet room style, but didn't seem to be the case. The plan is this cupboard's coming out, which is just the old immersion. Essentially the kitchen is being pushed back to about here, opening up that kitchen into quite a nice size, which I'll show you. And this is going to be a corridor through to an extension where the garage is, and there'll be a bedroom and an ensuite there. Bathroom probably in front of you-ish here. And in this back corner we're debating whether to have a study or a sort of 4th bedroom, kids bedroom. Probably a study these days with how everyone goes, or a utility room. So this is the kitchen. Again, usually I'd be quite harsh and saying I'm ripping all of this out, and obviously that's what I will be doing, but it just feels slightly tougher on this one. So this wall coming back a good metre or so, as you can see by that cupboard, is really going to open up this, and then what we're doing is this wall's coming out as well. So it'll be sort of a large, if I see if I can get a good perspective here, from the kitchen over here to the living room here, this whole area will be all open plan, and I mean quite a nice open sort of dining room, kitchen area there. So we've applied for planning permission, That should be coming in any day. It's not really a complicated one, so hopefully that gets passed. And then when we extend, which I'll show you a bit more later, it's going to be this area here we're unsure about. So it could be a utility room, but I actually think this kitchen will be large enough size to get all your washing machine, tumble dryer, etc. in it. So this would be a nice little study or maybe baby's room. Here's the small garden. You can see why we didn't want to extend any further out and just eat it all away. We didn't want to do too much back here, but because of the drainage, which I'll show you in the garage, we're going to have to do some work back here. Probably some sort of small patio. This was a little seating area. I've actually taken the bench she had to my house. So we're going to square off. So once this garage is knocked down, we're going to come all the way to the back of the house here. And this is a flat roof, so I need to just check with an asbestos company that hasn't got any asbestos. It doesn't look like it at first glance, but you never know under there, it might do. From the inside it doesn't look like it either. So this garage will be completely coming down. There's nothing in here apart from some insulation we've been storing. And it's just your typical garage. Well, I was going to say typical garage, but it is a funny L shape back there. So where I'm standing now will be the bedroom. This would be a window, so I'd imagine you'd have the bed sort of here against a sort of stud wall. Behind that will be an ensuite for this bedroom. And then at the back here, near this window, will be the main bathroom. And then at the very, very back there will be that study, utility room, whatever we decide. Some problems we have, drain here, and obviously all the guttering down pipes going in here as well. So all of these drains need to be relocated. So they probably need to be relocated to sort of about here. We need to get a party wall agreement with the neighbours here, because even though the garage is there now and we're sort of building similar, we're still on their boundary. So I have to knock that down and tell them. But yeah, moving the drains is always a complete faff. So yeah, we have a budget of around 100,000. We think the structural work will be in the 30 something plus VAT. I'm hoping to get that down a lot by knocking down the garage myself once I've checked with an asbestos company there's no asbestos in it, sorting all that out. And I'll be stripping all the walls, I'll be doing the rewire myself, I'll be running the pipes for the plumber, but obviously we'll have a plumber in to actually second fix all of those things. And any stud work, any plasterboard, any insulating, I can sort of handle that as well. So 100,000 is the budget. It's one of those ones, it looks quite a big number at this stage, but I think once that extension is built, I'll be more comfortable knowing that the kitchen costs like 10 to 15, for example, bathrooms 7 or 8, and getting my numbers more sort of accurate. But at the moment, that's what we're shooting for. We don't want to go too high because, as I said, the property's already dropped 100,000. So if we're spending 100,000, we really want to add at least sort of 50,000 on top of that by the end of everything. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm going to be posting a lot here. I'm going to be doing more daily shorts for YouTube and Instagram and everything as well. So filming as we go, filming lots of more work. And as I said, I'm totally emotionally tied to this. So I have no idea how it's going to go. Feels very different ripping it all out to shreds on this one. But yeah, please subscribe, like and follow. And hopefully you guys can give me some advice along the way on what you think I should do going forward. Thanks for watching.